I will always say that we need to do this in a fully bipartisan and embracing way. Ms. Rockwell, I want you to, as I listen to you and as well in the other room and as well read your statement, I think we should put on the record that Logan was kind, caring, smart, and creative, and loved animals. And the plight that he faced really should be something that we can find common ground. As I indicated, I'm interested in the manufacturing online where it gets directly in the hands of a beautiful young man like Logan. So you listen to Mr. Maltz, and I understand that you're a clinical therapist. What about the videos, the involvement of education professionals? What about just getting on the airwaves and making a major campaign? Can that help?
I believe that everything needs to be done to help this problem. We have to hit it at all angles. Absolutely education. I spoke in front of about 120 young kids yesterday morning, and over half of the room had never even heard about fentanyl, and probably 95% never heard about Narcan or naloxone. So education is huge. It's important, just as important as this and the border. I believe it has to be hit from all angles.
Well, we need to take you up on the offer, and let me also offer my sympathy to your husband as well, Dad. We need to take up the loud megaphone, and I think that's what I hear you saying. Dr. Singer, we need to do this in the right way, and so I need you to be as focused and precise on this question about dealing with fentanyl in a manner that is going to be effective. And the question of research and the medical use, can you explain how important, and that is even this scourge of the epidemic of attacking our nation in terms of addiction and deaths, how do you interject the fentanyl research so that we can be common sense focused to save lives, but to deal with the research that medicine needs to do?
Thank you, Representative Jackson Lee. Yes, actually, as we know from past experience, classifying a particular category of a fentanyl analog as Schedule I, meaning no accepted medical use, basically cuts off any opportunity to do research on the drug going forward. And I think nobody can ever know that there's not going to be something good discovered. We cut off psychedelics 50 years ago from research, and just now we're starting to realize the many useful, many lives that could have been saved over the last 50 years, but research was completely suppressed. And the FDA is about to finally legalize MDMA maybe this year. Marijuana is still Schedule I, and could anybody with a straight face say that it has no accepted medical use? So first of all, just as a matter of principle, to completely block research into a certain area because you've decided in advance that it's not going to lead to anything positive, I don't know how anybody could ever know that. They probably laughed at people who suggested you can get penicillin from a bread mold, but we did. So that's number one. Number two, I think it's a distraction to focus on permanently outlawing FRSs because, as Dr. Westlake himself admitted, it did nothing to lower the overdose crisis. We're here to be focused on why are people dying from fentanyl overdoses, and this is sort of like a little shiny object on the side. So we get rid of FRSs. Meanwhile, I think the next thing we're going to be dealing with is nitazines or trank. We're already hearing in the East Coast cities, we're hearing horrible stories about xylazine making its way with fentanyl and other products.
Let me pose some other questions. Dr. Westlake indicated that the creation of a new fentanyl-related substance had ground to a halt internationally. Do you agree with that proposition?
I really don't know you could say that. Just like it's been said on this committee that we don't know how many smugglers have smuggled.
And then
in
my
fentanyl
last
across
point
the
is
border.
the drugs that provide the adverse reaction, alcohol and others, drugs, how important it is that our communities have access to that, schools, police, et cetera.
Are you talking
The
about
gentlelady's
reversals?
time's expired,
Yes,
but
the
you can,
research, yes.
but you can answer the question,
Thank you,
Dr.
Mr.
Singh.
Chairman.
I think it's very important that drugs that block or are antidotes to the opioid-related overdose deaths are made readily available. Naloxone has been around since the 60s, and there's good reason to believe from recent reports from the Food and Drug Administration, they may actually make it available over the counter this coming month of March. So let's hope they do.
I will engage with you on that. Thank you so very much. I think it's very important.
Thank you. The gentlelady's time has expired, but I'm going to recognize her for a point of personal privilege to introduce a guest she has today.
I'm delighted, I know that she'll take this information and we will collaborate together, but I'm delighted to have Councilmember Carol Evans Shabazz, represents what we call District D for Destination in Houston, Texas, who is here to advocate for children, for economic involvement or investment, and to represent the city of Houston. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you and welcome.